What's up, everybody? My name is Jesus. This is the first time that I'm attempting to do this video blogging bit, so if I look slightly uncomfortable and awkward, please bear with me. I'm not really used to sitting in front of a camera and stepping up on my soapbox. Today I'm going to talk to you a little bit about my reaction to last week's vote on the DREAM Act in the Senate. I have to be upfront with you guys. I was a little disappointed. It's not something that I'm unfamiliar with. In this past decade, the DREAM Act has been presented in front of Congress several times, and each time it's been voted. But it didn't make me feel complacent. My morale wasn't diminished. I'm still all for the DREAM Act. However, it did give me a little bit of time to really think about some of the more controversial aspects of this bill, mainly the military component. In the beginning, the passage of the DREAM Act was something that I was looking forward to because I was looking to move on to the next phase in my life. After experiencing 25 years of arrested development, I'm ready for something more. I'm waiting for this situation in my life to be over. So as the DREAM Act picked up some steam and the movement grew bigger, controversies came out. Aside from the majority of the teabaggers who are actually not a fan of this bill because they call it amnesty, I also encountered a lot of opposition from American citizens because of the military component. In the beginning, it was a little nonsensical. They don't know what it's like to be undocumented. What the hell do they know about my situation and the situation of millions of other students in this country? Why should they have an opinion about what route us undocumented kids should take in order to get our green cards? If they were in my situation, they would probably want the DREAM Act to pass, wouldn't they? So my response to those individuals was always, shut your pie hole and pass the DREAM Act. But then I started thinking about my experiences with military recruiters back when I was in high school. When they approached me and they made their pitch, everything sounded great. I'd be able to travel the world. If I was good at math, I'd be able to fly planes. I'd be getting my green card, and they would pay for college. But the more I thought about it, the more my parents brought it up, I realized that I had people backing me up and that was not the route that I wanted to take. And so despite the fact that I started rejecting their advances, I don't mean it in that sexual way, they kept calling me, they kept showing up to my house. And finally one day, I remember my dad slamming the door in their face and telling them not to come back around anymore. And they still called. Several years later, they continued to call. And I remember how persistent they were and how aggressive they were. And so I started thinking about high school kids nowadays, the situation in Iraq and the situation in the military, and the fact that they're short on volunteers. And I thought about all those high schools with ROTC functioning inside of the school. And I thought about community colleges with all these recruiters on campus. How many of these kids are going to be swayed to make that choice? And don't get me wrong, I believe that it's a personal choice. There's some people who want to go into the military. Some people just love guns. Lots of folks have their own personal reasons why they want to go into the military. It's a personal choice. But I do have a problem with programs and military recruiters making these kids believe and feel like they have no other option. I mean, the pitch that they gave to me was good enough that I thought about it. And I thought about it for a long time. A lot of these kids will probably make the choice to go off into the military to escape their situation or do something about it. Make others believe like they're contributing to this country. They want it so badly that they're willing to risk their lives for it. And I'm not going to say that that's not admirable. I'm just worried about the kids who feel like they have no other choice. So when it comes to this military component of the DREAM Act, I don't know where I stand. On the one hand, I wholeheartedly believe that young people should not be put at the disposal of other individuals who wish to convert them into malleable, obedient killers. If these kids could be trained and educated to be productive and positive contributing members of our society, if we could show them how to be open and giving, if we could show them about evolution and progression, why would we want them to be destructive and cold and conscienceless? Why should we teach them warfare and destruction? If we could teach these kids to relieve suffering, why would we want to teach them to inflict it at the pull of a trigger or a push of a button? If the DREAM Act could in fact fulfill dreams, why would we want to create nightmares? These kids could be breaking down walls of oppression as opposed to climbing over brick walls. They could be using diplomatic ways and words to eradicate fear as opposed to using a weapon to murder somebody that they're told to fear. I'm saying that I wholeheartedly believe that there's a better way than joining the military. And I feel that we should definitely be looking more into emphasizing the college aspect of the DREAM Act. I'm waiting for my life to start. And after 25 years of waiting, I feel like I deserve it. Personally, if the DREAM Act were to pass, I would put some of my time and some of my effort to go to high schools and encourage undocumented students to go to college as opposed to going into the military. And I personally would like to see the military removed from high schools. So basically all I'm saying is that I understand why people hesitate to show support for the DREAM Act, because we wouldn't want the DREAM Act to be some sort of funnel for the military. But I'm just saying that you're leaving out a lot of individuals like myself who have waited a really long time for something like this. And I'm sure that a lot of us who are currently active in the movement would like to organize in the future to counter these military recruiters from getting to our kids. What do you guys think? How do you feel about the DREAM Act? How do you feel about the military component? Leave a comment below or respond with a video response. This is my first video. Hopefully it's not too choppy. They will get better with time. Peace.